Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share some of the read aloud books that we have been reading lately in our homeschool. Our read aloud time is a pretty big part of our homeschool day. It is also probably my kids' favorite part of the day. As far as any of the schoolwork they do, probably their favorite thing is just to sit and listen to me read. And so we have been doing a little bit of a longer stretch this year as well. Last year it was like one chapter for most books. I mean, books have very different length of chapters, but it would usually be a chapter and that would be it. This year we're doing a little bit more time, probably close to 30 minutes a day, and so we can just get through those books pretty quick. We have read quite a number of books from September up until now, and so I'm going to share with you what we've read so far, and then probably at the beginning of summer I'll share with you the books that we read from this time until the end of the school year. So at the beginning of the school year, we were reading Farmer Boy from the Little House series, and my kids really have enjoyed the Little House series. Farmer Boy was probably their favorite so far, especially for my son Elijah, because there was a lot more boys in the story, and he really enjoyed some of the stuff that they got into. So we decided to take a break from the Little House series after reading Farmer Boy. We had read the first 3 books, and the kids really did enjoy them. I will say that there were some parts where I kind of lost their interest. I found over this series that a lot of the story is really just stating facts and stating what is, and not really, how do I put it, like not really following a storyline and there being adventure. There are parts, don't get me wrong, but a lot of it is just kind of stating what is. But overall, they really did enjoy the book, and we're definitely going to get into the other Little House books later on, but I thought we would just take a little break from the series and try something else. The next book we read was Heidi, and this is a classic I'm sure a lot of you have heard of, and it's about this little girl, and she is an orphan. She goes to live with her uncle, I believe it is, or is it her grandfather? She goes to live with this older guy. She meets a little girl who is sick, and who's in a wheelchair, and anyway, it was good. It wasn't, nothing in the book I find is exciting. It's just kind of all just simple stories about her, but it did keep their attention and they did enjoy this book. So the next book we read was Ramona, age 8 by Beverly Cleary. I remember this one really well. I remember reading this one when I was probably about that age 8. It was good. My children really did enjoy it, and they were laughing at some of the parts in this book. As I went through it, there were a few things that surprised me about like bad attitudes from Ramona and from her sister, and just things that I was like, I don't really want to read that to the kids. Just nothing really bad, but just like, oh, my mom is so mean, or you know, just little like temper tantrums and bad attitudes, and I didn't really find any consequences happening. They were just getting away with these, and for sure my kids will get into reading stuff like that, but there were parts that I was just like, I'll just skip over that. But overall, my kids really enjoyed this book. The next book we read was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl, and this has a lot of really humorous parts, and my kids had lots of good laughs, a lot of big adventures they go on. One thing about Roald Dahl books to remember is that in every book there are a couple of curse words, and so I just skip over those. My kids don't even notice, but if they're young and reading this, just something to watch out for, that there are a couple of words. The other thing about this book, it is a classic and it is hilarious. There are some parts where there's just a lot of rudeness and like unkindness and just calling names and stuff like that, that I was like, I don't really know what to think of it, like what to take from it. I don't know. Just examples that your kids could learn on like name calling and stuff. But overall, a very fun adventure that we really enjoyed reading, and then my kids actually went on and watched the movie afterwards, and so that was fun. That's the first time we've really done that, reading a book and then watching the movie version afterwards. Next, we got back into Beverly Cleary with this book, The Mouse and the Motorcycle, and this one is just adventure after adventure and just lots of fun. The kids would just sit there and hear, like, just take it all in. This is, I don't know, it's hard to say which one is their favorite of all the books that we read so far this fall, but this is definitely up there, if not their favorite. And then the next book we read is Runaway Ralph, so that's just the next one in the series. Sorry, my little chuckle. I was just thinking, at the time that we started reading this book, we had mouse traps out, and we were trying to catch some mice. And we did catch a bunch of mice, thankfully. They're not in our house anymore. But my son Simeon was just like, oh, there's Ralph. Like every time we caught a mouse, he would call it Ralph, and that's the mouse's name in this book. So anyway, that was kind of funny. But we went on and read the next book. We just finished this one today, actually, just as exciting. And there's one more book in this series called Ralph S. Mouse, and so we're going to read that one next, and then we'll get into something else. So I have a whole list of books that I still want to read this year, and some that we maybe won't even finish this year. It'll be for the next year. But every time I hear a suggestion of a book, I write it down so that I can just have a lot of ideas for good books to read aloud to my kids. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!